Voila. It started.
Thank you.
You're being filmed right now.
So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to JCI Sheffield's Introduction to Podcasting as part of our Leadership Learning Programme. We're really pleased to welcome Peter from JCI Belgium, who's running tonight. And I'm going to hand straight over to him and probably then keep quiet for most of the evening, unusually. So, welcome, Peter. Really pleased to have you here.
No, thank you very much, Mark, for this opportunity, and also welcome everybody for being here and actually taking that step into podcasting, a new way of digital media. And it's clear that you're interested to do that, to do something with it, that you see the advantages. And of course, podcasting at the moment is kind of hot. I see all around all kind of media starting to do podcasting. And surely when we have right away this pandemic still running, people are home and maybe tired of video and Zoom calls. And that's why they switch to audio. And talking about audio, if you don't hear me, if you see that there is something wrong in the connection, please shout so I understand and I can actually make some connections there. So if you have questions, please write them in the chat. I cannot answer them at the moment itself, but I will answer them at the end. You will see my scenario for tonight, and you will see when there is a lot of time for your questions. But questions pop up, so write them down at the moment that you think I have a question, I want an answer. Please write them down. So let's go off. I hope you're ready because I have exactly, let's say, whoops, this one. Voila. Do you see my screen? Yes, Mark. All right. So I have a lot of slides, and if you can't till 6, well, then that's the exact amount of slides I have here tonight. So Mark and me, well, Mark and me, we go way back because we have a story together. Mark is not only the best new member of 2014 on the world level, where I actually met him the first time, but last year we connected because he was my mentor in the mentoring program. And why do I tell you this story? I'll tell you later. But let's go start with an introduction into podcasting. Let's see what we have on the menu tonight. Voila. As you can see, we have the introduction, then a part of theory. What is podcasting? Why? How? Actually, the existence of podcasting. And that's why we're going to dive deeper in these things. But theory without practice is still theory. And I know I've seen here that, for example, JCI Ireland has an ambition to start an own podcast. But of course, from my experience, it is the doing that makes the results and not only the theory. I will share you. So tonight you will be doing something, already producing material. How? And I will tell you later. But if you now start sweating, please just relax. It's not as real as possible. It's just to get you started. And then at the end, we have questions and answers. So I hope you're ready for this ride because we are going to start. Voila. Introduction, who I am. I think many of you already see me somewhere on the net, maybe in reality, because actually I'm at the moment a board member of JCI Brussels, but my life as JC started in 2014, exactly in that World Congress in Leipzig 2014. I have at the moment a mission to make JCI visible. And if you look to all my little projects that I already did since the lockdown, I started with JCI Change Your Game 2020. That was a webinar series about giving confidence, where I was inviting experts. And today, I'm maybe an expert today, but as you can see, I'm actually digital. I call myself at the moment a digital media non-expert. Why? Because I don't do this for a living. And if you see one of my pictures, you see me doing there a plank. And that is actually what I do in the real life. I'm a personal trainer and a gym owner. And at this moment here, well, this is the wall. This is one of my walls of my gym. So I transformed my gym into a kind of digital studio. And why is that? Well, maybe as most of you, some businesses are open and some are closed. And I'm actually at one of the latter series of businesses, and it's already the second lockdown, and we are closed for 4 months. So, and this is exactly why I'm starting with digital media. I decided that this is the future. So I said, I will teach myself how to do this. And exactly that is where I want to teach you now how to do it. Why? Because I felt the same pain and struggles as maybe you are already experiencing at the moment. Yeah. The doubts, what I have to use, what platform, is it difficult? These questions I already had the same. So that's why I'm a non-expert, but I'm having expertise to teach you, to give you that little push to do it, maybe also that confidence. So you can follow me. I created my own GSCI brand as also an environment to show what GSCI is about, but also for me personally, a testing environment for all my digital um, experiments. For example, I did a Christmas show in December, and that was my first time to experiment with, for example, my own material like this studio I have with microphones, etc., etc. So that's why GSCI is so beautiful. Let's talk about the theory. First, why starting with podcasting? Well, the why, maybe you already found it because you're here. Not, I don't think you're here because you don't know or maybe you had nothing to do tonight, but you found somewhere a value of podcasting. And I will tell you what my vision is on the value of podcasting, and maybe it's also your vision. It means at the moment, everybody understands that digital media is a way to connect. If you're a JCI, it's also a way to connect with the outside world, connect with the JCI members, but also to exposure yourself, or maybe to say, I have a project with interesting guests, but a small video or a photo doesn't say everything. Maybe an interview, and that's exactly where I think that podcast actually brings value. You can dive deeper into a person or give more a background story. And the second thing is because it's not visual, it's audio, which makes it very interesting because people mostly listen in the car, at home, doing sports or other activity. So it's very democratic. And I think these two things makes it, for me personal, very interesting. If you say something else, if you have another suggestion, I'll check in the chat. Voila. Okay, thank you very much, Mark. Yes, I was dressed up as a Santa during those interviews. Anyway, so that is the why, huh? Because the audio, the democratic value, and certainly, certainly in JCI. Why? Before I see, for example, here JCI Scotland existing 75 years. Wow, 75 years of history, of stories, 75 years of impact, 75 years of memberships that experienced a lot of situations, difficulties, etc., etc. And here I will actually connect why I started with the podcast Peter Love GSCI show and why actually, for example, I interviewed very experienced JCs. Why is that? Because, for example, yeah, now you're in JCI, and mostly you're in JCI for 4 or 5 years maximum. You have exceptions like Mark or like me or other persons here. for 6, 10 years, but mostly not that long. And that makes you that your, for example, your awareness, your history awareness of the organization is quite limited. And if you have these podcasts of people who maybe already gone for 4 or 5 years, but you listen to them and you hear what they experienced, their fears, their challenges, their ambitions, but also their drive. You can actually identify yourself with this person. And this is exactly why it's a very good idea to make podcasts of experience and stories of your local chapter or of your national organization. Why? Because years after, people can still understand what is the value of your organization and identify and get inspired and maybe also not give up and maybe be longer in the organization because maybe they understand setbacks or people who are not so nice to you. That happens in JCI. That is just a moment situation. It's not forever. And there are always other ways to enjoy the organization. So understand very why it's important that podcasting really can give you added value to your organization. Maybe write it in the chat. What do you think is for you a good value to start podcasting? What is your why? Just write it down in the chat and share it with other people. And meanwhile, I say that I've also did an interview with Mark, isn't it, Mark? Already in the summer.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for a good moment to launch that podcast of you with the story of Mark Smith. So, and meanwhile, I have here sharing knowledge. Is that sharing knowledge with JCs or is it also professional?
Yeah, for with professional knowledge.
Yeah.
Which can also be in JCs, but
exactly. Yeah. Well, of course, we are from the same the same chapter, Hannes. And indeed, for example, what I'm thinking about is maybe you can have a certain topic where you're very good at and tell a very nice, for example, what do you have to do if this happens? And you put it in a podcast, and that makes you unique as a law firm, of course, because how many law firms share podcasts? I don't know if you were thinking about something, but share it. That's the first thing I was thinking about. Storytelling, introducing our members and give more insight to voluntary work. What I will give to new members. Absolutely, yes. Sharing stories of JCI and raise or profile. Yeah, absolutely. To reach a new audience. Yeah. Inspire current members. Absolutely, Claire. No. Introduce our members and also give more insight to voluntary work. Yes, we got that. I'm a trainer, love talking about self-development, but doing lives and videos needs a lot of work for me. So I guess podcasting is the answer. Okay. Is it a kind of stage fright maybe? That could be. Stories about new books, new techniques. Yeah, why not? Absolutely great. Stories, experiences. Yeah. Yeah, well, absolutely. And that is actually exact why podcasting is a very good idea. Thank you very much. That I was not the only one who had this why, but I see that many of us have the same nose in the same direction. I don't know if it's exactly English, but they say it here around. The same noses. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mark. You're the expert in the English language.
On the same song sheet, I think, or same page, that sort of thing.
We are on the same page, exactly. Thank you very much, Mark. Okay, so we started with the why, and your why is that if I see it very clear. But the second question is, and that's typical, it's like writing a blog or starting a live stream. What I will talk about. And here is a common, how to say, obstacle that I also had, but many people have. And that's actually an obstacle that, let's say, for example, many people say, okay, I won't do it. It's nothing for me. It's actually what you talk about. And I always say, and my experience is, don't look too far. Look inside. Look inside what you like. What you think has value. What has value for you could we also have value for somebody else. And the thing is, the what should not make you stop. It's more, it's just an obstacle, just start with something small. For example, you have an event with your chapter and there is somebody going to speak there. Why not interviewing him? Ask why is interesting and why people should come, and maybe tell a backstory about his life and why he became a trainer about this topic. And maybe there was a trauma, an incident, and then it becomes really, really interesting. See? And you have the story also forever. So try also to find just look very closely to yourself. For example, Hannes said, I want to talk about things that we can offer to our clients. I see people say the stories of our JCI chapter. Yeah, what stories? If you say that, what stories? Well, very simple. What did you do when you were a JCI or a JC, for example? Very simple. Start very, very simple. Then the audience. That's also a very good one because people attend, certainly if they start something new like this, to make them very small. Yeah, but nobody will listen to me. Nobody will be interested. And then that's also an obstacle. As you can see, it's kind of two mental obstacles mostly. And just say, because the audience at this moment doesn't matter. It's about what you actually can give of a value. Because the audio will come if you have the content. It's not the other way around. Of course, if you want to have a big reach and then you can actually, but I say start with something that you think has a value for yourself, and then the audience will follow. Why? Because you will actually target these. So I saw just that somebody said, I want to reach new members or maybe give information to new members. Well, for example, you get a mail, hey, I'm interested to be a member of your local chapter in JCI. Well, that is very simple. Then, hey, that's a good idea. Look, here, I sent you your podcast on the introduction podcast about this amazing member we had here a few years ago. Maybe this can inspire you and show you what JCI is about. Voila, bam, you have already one listener extra. So don't mind about the audience. It's about starting and getting the things done because you need that content to work on. Then how? And indeed, ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you that the how, it's mostly the setup, is something that non-techies, also like me, I'm totally not technical, have problems with. Why? Because people think, oh, we need really sophisticated microphones and we need a kind of podcaster and we need this and extra lighting and etc. Absolutely. Absolutely, it's true that you can think this. But as you will see in the practice, you can also start with what you have. And that means, for example, a phone. Maybe you just say, hey, this phone has a voice recorder. If I put it like this and I start talking, I have my voice on the telephone. And then I put it in the software and I can work on it. I have a podcast. You see, if you want, let's say, a low budget start, just start with what you have. People always tend to go to Google or to any web shop and say, I need a good microphone, I need a good, it's not so necessary. It depends, of course, the quality you want to achieve. I invested this after my webinar series. Why? Because I understood, look, I want to go further in this, so I invested a few €1,000 in all this setting. But as a JC and as no profit, you don't need to do that. Maybe one thing or a second thing I can give you, Mark just mentioned that he was interviewed for a podcast. And how was that? That was by Zoom. Exact, by Zoom, like this here today. And why is that interesting? Because for 14 minutes, Zoom is for free. So that means you have a Spanish, you can actually have 14 minutes for free. And if you record it and then it's on your computer, you get, well, I think 2 or 3 files, but let's say for sure 2 files. One is the video, and the other one is the audio. And that separate audio you can actually put in the program, I will show later, and then you can use it. You see, it's that simple. So I hope you understand that. If you understand it, type yes. If you don't understand, type no. And if you have a not yes or a not yet, please tell me why or what is exactly missing, because I want to help you. I want to help you here today. So, but I have to know where the missing piece of information is needed. But I see a lot of yeses, so that is very, very good. So only, I think, wait, I have here Daisy Pello. If you can write exactly what you're missing. Perfect. Claire, yes. Okay. Don't worry. We will do also a little practice tool, well, with the phone, of course, not with the Zoom because we are in the Zoom ourselves, but I'll show you how. Okay. It's all good for Daisy. Great. Let's move on. So, and then we have a preparation. How you prepare for a podcast. So you know why you want to do a podcast. I'm going to take the example of the friends of JCI Ireland. They want to start a podcast. Yes, the world has to know about JCI Ireland and what amazing projects we are doing and what amazing members we have. So they sit on a desk and start brainstorming. Oh, we can talk about this or that, or we can talk about a project. Very good. But understand one thing is that you need a clear view that is actually kind of, because the thing about podcasts, and maybe you listen to podcasts, is that, yeah, if you start with, for example, projects, and then another podcast is about, I don't know, people, and it becomes a kind of difficult for your listeners to understand what's your podcast about. It's like opening a book. For example, I want to read a book about social media, and there is a half passage or a chapter about cars. Then you understand, like, hey, what's this? Somebody misprinted. And that is also the same thing about podcast. It has to have a clear idea that is actually in a line with next episodes you're going to follow. So, for example, JCI Ireland, they want to tell about things in JCI Ireland happening. Well, they can talk about members, about projects, but always connection with JCI Ireland. Okay, so but for example, they have an idea about one certain project, and they want to dive in deeper. And then, for example, I think they have the Friendly Business Awards, yes, the Friendly Business Awards, and they want to dive deeper in the Friendly Business Awards, they can do actually two things. Or they can actually start a second podcast only about this and dive every chapter in that. Or they put it in JCI Ireland and they make chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's also possible. You can choose on that, but I would prefer maybe the first option, or the second. I don't know actually. It's I also doubt about that myself. So you see, the non-expert is speaking right now, but it depends how fast or easy you find back the same line. Um, Claire says, "I have some ideas." That's great. That's absolutely great. Yes, have ideas is the most important thing. Um, then, if you're having guests, what is important that, of course, that you want to know what you want to get out of the interview. For example, I want to talk to Mark, and I set up a meeting, and I just sit there and say, "Hey, Mark, how are you doing?" And yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. That interview is going nowhere because you, as an interviewee, you don't, or interviewer, you have no idea where you want to reach, which points or which information you want. Yeah, you have don't forget that you have to be a news reporter. Yeah? It's like on the television news. You have to ask certain questions to know certain information that you would like to get. And of course, that's the kind of information you hope that is something interesting for the listener. Huh? For example, if I ask Mark, "Hey, Mark, what did you eat this morning?" Yeah, I don't think personally that is something very interesting for my podcast listener. Maybe for me, yes, but I don't think that maybe Hannes or Daisy or Claire are really saying, "Wow, I want to know more about this English breakfast of Mark or the 4th of March." You see? So that's very important that you understand. But I want to know about Mark, for example. Hey, how was your VP year? What was the positives, the setbacks? What did you learn about it? Voila, that's the question. Why? Because that's something that people can relate to, and also that you want to know. Maybe I want to know, is Mark that always happy, or did he have the struggles, and how they conquer that? Yeah? That makes it interesting. Huh? Yeah. Yeah, I see already a competition from Claire. Who says Irish breakfast is way more interesting. Well, do a podcast about that. I would say no. So anyway, um, prepare, be an interview, and if you don't know how to be an interviewee because you're in the media now, learn about it, read about it, or it's very simple. Listen to questions of other podcasters or watch the news. And mostly they ask questions like how, what, and who. Yeah? That's kind of the basic questions. But understand also for yourself, what do I want to get out of this interview? What kind of information I want? So it's interesting for my listeners. So understand that. Sometimes put yourself in the shoes of the listener while you actually the interviewer. So that is very, very important to understand. Voila. I hope that this is clear for you. Say yes if you're okay. Well, I'm actually having a little nip. I say yeses. All right. Okay, welcome, Elisabetta. All right, so we had the introduction, we had the theory, and guess what is next? You can type it if you know it. Voila, Safa, indeed. Practice, indeed, yes. I would say put up your sleeves on and get ready for some real podcasting. So I made specially for you the 5 steps of practice. And practice makes perfect. Huh? Well, almost perfect, let's say that. So the first thing what you need to do is, of course, the practice means that you know exactly that you prepared the interview, etc., etc. Huh? This is only about the action to get your podcast there. Huh? So the first thing if you have to do, of course, is to record. Press the record button. So I would say take your smartphone. This is only a test just to get out of your fear and get used to record things. So go to your smartphone or something where you can record with and search for voice recorder. Voila. Voila, I have it here. As you can see, and voila, and most of these voice recorders have a standard function, even an interview function, or so you can actually take it, have an interview, of course, face to face. Maybe that's currently not possible pandemic wise, but as you can see, they're kind of sophisticated already. And then, for example, start recording. Push the red button and say something. For example, I'm here at a session, how to podcast, ta, 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 ta. It doesn't matter what you really say, it's just to have that little piece of sound, because we're going to work with that in the next step. So I would say start. Hello, I'm here in this training, introduction to podcasting, and I'm here with Mark, and let's see, many other interesting people here who want to learn podcasting. And I'm really looking forward to give them a level up. Voila, 22 seconds. I don't know if you have something. I hope so. If you have something, if it was working, say yes. So I know that you're on the same page, Mark? Yes, yes, yes. Voila, absolutely. Yes, you can. Great. So we have this. That's the record. We have this piece of now audio. Now, of course, we have to put it in the program and see if there was not too many us, or maybe you want to put some music in the front, or even an intro or an outro, or I don't know what you want to do with it. So as you can see, step 2, I put there 2 basic programs. They're for free. And one goes very well with Windows, if you have a Windows computer. And the other one goes very well with Apple. And that's GarageBand. So go to one of these suppliers. Just Google Audacity or GarageBand. I hope that's working, and then you can just download it. So I will share now another screen so you can see what I have. Yes. Voila. For example, I have a Windows computer, so I have here Audacity. There is also Audacity for Mac OS, but I know, for example, that GarageBand for Apple could be already installed in your computer. So maybe search on the Hourglass GarageBand, and maybe it's already installed and you didn't know about the existence. That's possible. As many programs we don't know about. So Audacity for Windows, voila. Of course, take Windows 10, voila. And then now I will open my own because I already installed it, of course. Yes. Voila. Yes. All right. I hope everybody is working. If it doesn't work, just put it in the chat. I see already Claire Cox. I'm stuck. And can you also say where you're stuck exactly? So
I clicked on Audacity Windows, and then it has current version 2.42 or 2.4.2. But then there's all this text, but where do I go to actually install it? Can you show me what on your screen share what button I should click to download it on?
yeah, let's discover together. Indeed, it's been a while, but maybe something. So we went to Audacity for Windows, right?
Yeah, and
And then
if you
yeah. Okay.
it's all
If
this
you see this, Claire, I understand. That is what freaks you out, I guess, right?
yeah, totally
Yeah,
free.
don't worry. I understand it completely. No, actually, you have to go here, download Windows on the sites. Wait, I was just put this down. Wait, where did I? There isn't one. If somebody wait there, I'm wait here, yeah, installer. This one. Voila. Yes.
Okay.
Are you there too, Claire?
No, I'm just watching what you've done, so I'm gonna.
Yeah, it's kind of hidden there.
Yeah, it is a little bit, but that's okay.
So I go back to the main page where we were, and
Yeah.
then here I went to
Yeah.
Audacity 2.4.2.
Yeah, perfect. I'll try
Right,
that.
and then you have this page
Yeah.
in voila. And then I just went to Windows installer.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
No, that's why we're here in training, of course. To as you see, there are many obstacles. Some are in the mind, but some are really technical. And that makes it so, in my opinion, so difficult to start with podcasting, because if you're not really an IT expert or something who's used to have these things, this can actually make you doubt and stop in advancing to create a podcast. Voila. Let's see if I have other people. Yeah, the text side of things, exactly, yes. Okay, well, I hope this is installed for you. If it is, I will show you how it is looking. Yes, sure. Voila, it looks like this. And to be honest, it looks like from the early days of internet. So it's not smooth, has a lot of signs. It's a play, stop. That's something that you easily can relate to. But then you have these strange symbols here and then numbers. But don't panic. I'll guide you a little bit to this program. Voila. I hope you're all okay. Voila, Safa also installed. Layered, yep. Okay, good. So you have your program ready and you have your piece of content on your phone. So what do we need to do now, right now, is actually to have this piece of content in this program. So let's do the next step. Just select this piece. So if you go back, so it's recorded. Voila, you save it. And then from saving, you actually go sharing. So for example, here there is a button sharing, that's in my language. And then you share it. And if you share it, you have options, for example, to WhatsApp. Well, WhatsApp is maybe not the best, or why not? If you have WhatsApp on your computer, you can just do it WhatsApp. It's a very small, but also Gmail or an email address. Voila, GarageBand, great. Then you mail it to yourself, or you can also plug it in, of course, in your computer, or you put the ID card. There are many options. I think most of you are very clever to do that. Voila. And you send it to yourself. Voila. I hope you're all discovering right now. Voila. So if it's coming, you download it. In this training, introduction to podcasting, and I'm here with. Voila. Is it similar to OBS Studio? Well, OBS Studio is mostly a live streamer in my experience. So this is really to actually to edit audio. It has nothing to do with, you cannot edit video or something. It's only audio. So no, it's not similar as OBS. Voila, exactly clear. And that's actually the next step. Voila, that's indeed the next step. And thing is, Audacity doesn't accept every kind of file. So let's have a look. So I'll stop sharing. Yes. So let's have a look right now if it's working directly in my program. And if not, I will show you how you can adjust it. So you actually go open. You search that piece of information or piece of, voila, it's here, da-da, you open it. And then, I don't know, it's at your side, but here it says it's not possible to open. And maybe if you have the same problem, type yes. I think that everybody is busy trying to open it. Or maybe sleeping. I don't know, Mark, how many people are still there? No, don't worry.
We're
I will
all
help
good.
you now with it. Voila. I will show you now how actually you have that piece of audio, how you actually change it into something that is possible with Audacity. Okay, so Safa says that it's already there. Lucky you. Okay, but for all people who are not there yet, let's go to the next step. Voila. I'm going to share my screen, and then you can actually go to the same program as I have. It's really great, the program. Voila, as you can see, you're on the program Audio Converter. So type in online audioconverter.com and you will get. I'll give you some time. Voila. I see everybody busy now. Great. Yes. Good. Everybody's finding it? Yes. Nothing. Okay, good. Yes. Wacht. Leert has a question. Is audio converter for anyone, those who got an error message when uploading the file, or for everyone? Well, of course, we do this. Why? Because I can't actually upload my piece of audio into Audacity. So it is a necessity to go to the online converter. But let's say that you have an MP3 and you want to, I don't know, maybe you want to have an iPhone ringtone, then you can also do the same thing. You know, it's what you need at the moment. Huh? All right, good. So now it's very tempting to actually go for the iPhone ringtone. Maybe you have recorded something like a funny sound for Mark, and I want to give him a birthday gift. But I will not do that because I'm honest. I'm actually also a serious guy, and I'm a trainer at the moment, so we don't do that right now. But it's very tempting, and I don't see what you're doing on your computer, so it's all you can do anything we want. Anyway, good. Let's go to open files, and that's a big button, yes. And we go to that little piece of audio. Voila, we select it and then we open it. Voila. So now at the moment, and if you can follow, you see your little piece here waiting to be converted. And for Audacity, what are we going to use? We're going to use Wave. And then the third point is that you can choose the quality, and the CD quality is quite good. If you want to go DVD quality for that kind of audio or Spotify or whatever, 44.1 kilohertz is okay. So we don't have to change that. And then, yeah, well, it's very easy. Yeah? Convert, voila, boom. And now it's converting. So I hope it's also converting for you. And Leert, yes. Okay. So if it's converted, you can download it. Voila. Comes on your computer. And then we go to the next step. Voila. I'm going to another page now. Back to Audacity. Share. Okay, we still see that message. You click OK. And then comes the beautiful part. We go to the converter, and it's always online audio converter. Hoopla. Ta-da! Wow, magic happened. I hope you also see it at your computer. I see people reacting in the chat. I'll go to the chat. Enjoy what you see now is sound waves. Wait. Claire, unable to open file. Is that after or before?
I was on the online audio converter and followed the steps that you did. My recording is just 2 seconds. I just said test, but it said it didn't accept it. So I don't know. I'll try it again maybe.
Yeah, try again. Go to Wave. Huh? So yeah. I see also Daisy missed the step regarding the converter part. Don't worry. Let's go back. So for people who are, because it's normal. Some people learn fast, some people are a bit slower, and nothing is bad. Huh? But if you're there already ready, why don't you try already little things on it? Huh? Try to see what is this knot, how can I cut things? For example, this part that's empty, that can go away. But how do we do that? Try to find it. Get a bit familiar with the program. And meanwhile, I'm going to help the other people. So I would say start. And we come back. So Daisy and Claire, let's go back to, yes, the converter. Ta-da. So are you there at the converter, Claire? So if you're there, you just
I'm
open
here.
file.
I tried to upload it again, and I'll tell you what it says.
Yep.
Here, time, 1 sec. It says, 1 second now. Yeah, it says unable to open files. So it means unable to open file. That might be because the file is not supported or is damaged.
Okay. Can you make a new piece of audio?
Okay.
Maybe longer than 2 seconds, maybe 20 seconds or something.
Okay. Okay.
Voila.
Peter, sorry.
No, don't worry. We are here to help. So, but I don't know how I can make it in 2 ways. Yeah, I know, Claire. Don't worry. We all have been there. Just relax. Keep on breathing. And then Daisy, indeed, well, you have to open your Audacity or GarageBand. I don't know exactly what you have. And then you're going to open, you click on open file. Voila, I will show you again. Voila. So you're going here, the site, and that's in my language, of course, new, and then open. And then voila, you go actually to that file that was converted, voila, and then you're going to open it. Voila. And then you get waves.
I don't have that. I don't have the converter file. I only have the file like the original one.
Aha, then maybe you missed one thing is actually downloading it.
It can be done, yes.
Can you go back to that page of the converter?
What do you mean converter? Like
Wait, let's have a check here. Let's juggle a bit with the pages. Right, so this is the audio converter. You're there?
Where did you get that one? Did you download that one as well?
No. We just opened this one. So what you can do is actually you can put online audioconverter.com.
Okay.
Just copy it.
Okay.
Voila. You have this same page, right?
Wait a second. Nope. Just a second. Let's see. Okay.
I hope that the other contestants are already cutting and splitting and yeah, maybe already making extra, maybe an intro. Hello, this is my first podcast.
Okay, I have it now. I have it open now. So now I do one.
Yeah, so now you're going to click open files.
Okay.
And you go for the original file.
Okay, very good.
And then you actually open it, and then you will see it's uploaded. And now I have already 2. I can actually, voila, I will eliminate 1. Voila. So you have that. So you have.
Yep. Now I have everything.
next to that. Okay, for Audacity you need waveform. So the step number 2 is wave. So you start with MP3, but you need wave. Voila.
Okay, that one I didn't do. I have to go back then.
Voila. And then the third step is converts. Voila. And then the last step is downloads. Yes, you have that?
Yep, now I have it.
Voila. And then you go back to Audacity, and then voila, you have the waves. Is that correct?
Yep.
Voila, welcome. Okay. We have a question. I recorded an audio on Audacity. Is it the same as doing it on the phone? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Very well, Safa. Yeah. I just took the phone. Why? Because mostly you go around. Or you do a Zoom. So you have mostly an external thing because you cannot open Audacity and have, for example, a Zoom call. It doesn't record. So that is, but you can, for example, sit on your computer and you say, hey, tonight this is a podcast of Peter. Tonight I'm going to talk about how to do podcast training. And it will perfectly record there. So that's possible, yeah. I recorded my son telling a story. Well, why not? Shaun the sheep. Very funny, I know. Yes, absolutely. Would it be possible to get a copy of this recording to watch back in the future? Yes, you have to go to Mark for that. But we're recording it, so we will have it anyway. Martina. Okay, let's continue. Yes, all right. So everybody is there. Okay, and then you have the audio. If you put play, then you hear, voila. Let's share it. Also computer sound, for example, this one up. So at the moment, you push play, and now.
Hello, I'm here in this training, introduction to podcasting, and I'm here with Mark, and let's see, many other interesting people here who want to learn podcasting. And I'm really looking forward to give them a level up.
Voila, absolutely. And what's beautiful about this thing is that you see that, for example, there are some empty spaces. For example, this one. Yeah, that's a pause. You don't want that, you can cut it. You can, for example, there's here an yeah. Certainly in interviews, in my experience, there can be a lot of uhs by the interviewer or the interviewee. And I will tell you, sometimes there are a lot, and you don't want that in your podcast. You want it clear, so you need to cut things or you split things, etc. Tonight, I will not explain exactly how to split and to cut these things, but I can tell you, you can actually do in this in the bars here, for example, and for example, you say knippen, bam, it's gone. Or for example, this one, select, and you want to let's say splitsen. It's actually to put it in 2 pieces. That's that. But maybe I can do another session just how to do this technically wise, because otherwise it goes a bit too far. And I also see that, Mark, that my computer has low battery because I made a little small error not connecting it to the electricity. Voila, can happen. Voila. Why do I have 2 waveforms? Well, that's very simple because I uploaded 2 times. See, it always goes open in a new. It's 2 times the same one. So, okay, so you're there. You have your program, you cut it, all the thing. And then, of course, we're not ready yet to launch it. Why not? Because now you only have a piece of information, of audio, and then you need to, of course, to have, as you can see, with also to have a kind of marketing around it. JCI Ireland, like I did. I will show you what I did for my show. Voila. This one. I made a little artwork because we will need that to publish it on Spotify, for example. You need somewhere a visual that says a little bit where it's about, or it attracts people. So you need to make that. And I also do sessions about how you make this stuff by Canva. So connect with me if you want that I give a training in your chapter or national organization to make these things, the formats, etc. Okay, so let's say that you all made this, good. Then we go to the next step. Voila, the next step is the hosting. Because it's like web hosting. If you have a website, yeah, you don't hang it on the internet. You need a host, that's mostly a server where you put on it, and then you can distribute it. And I will give you an example of a host that I used. Let's see. Yeah, right here. Voila. I used a very popular one. It's called Buzzsprout. And as you can see, at buzzsprout.com, voila. As you can see, for example, I upload something because it's here. And let's go a bit through it. My podcasts, voila. I have a free account at the moment. That is at the pricing, but that's not what you want to see. Voila. And then you start actually filling in information. For example, podcast title, podcast description. This show is about stories of true transformation in Junior Champion International. And that's why I call here about podcast artwork. Not any picture will fit here, for example. It has really, if you're using Spotify, you see it has a certain dimensions. Well, that's the same here. Then you need to also know exactly where you're going to put it, in which category. I would, for example, take education self-improvement. Somebody said that's what she wants to talk about. That is a very good one. The category is important because algorithms will actually connect. If somebody is interested in, for example, JCI or self-improvement, they will connect again with the JCI of a self-improvement. If you're somewhere else at adventures or IT or tech, it's maybe not so easy to connect these things or being suggested. So understand that the right category is important: language, time zone, artist, email, etc. Then you have also team members, plan, backup, but that's not so important. Of course, I have a free plan, and means actually every month I can actually upload 2 hours. Podcast setting and stats. That's voila. So these are at the moment the stats, but why I have these stats? Because of course I have an episode, and let's see if I can see my episodes. Voila, episodes here. Voila, I have here one episode, and this is actually the story of Derek Riley. Voila, maybe you know this guy very well. The guy is from JCI Dublin, past national president, international trainer, I had a very long story of 1 hour and 20 minutes with him. So you can see that. And the stats say, voila, that's very interesting. We had a peak around 25, 26 of listeners, and then you see it going down. And then it's only published on Spotify. Voila. So, and then you want to know, for example, yeah, but Peter, how can I actually get my thing here into Spotify? Well, there is actually a direct connection between Buzzsprout and Spotify. So you don't pay to be on Spotify. You only, well, pay if you want to be big on this platform. Okay, so that's very important to tell you. Voila. Do you need an account with Buzzsprout? Yes, of course. But like I say, in the plan, it's a free account at the moment. It depends how much you want to publish or something. Eh? Voila. Here so, and let's say that everything you filled in, and then you launched it to Spotify. Well, then it's very simple because then you have to look. Voila. Voila, I'm going to show you now. I don't know if you can see it. Wait. Hoopla. As you can see, here I'm on Spotify on my own account, and voila, it's there. Peter Loves JCI show, and I have here the story of Derek Riley.
Welcome to Postcast.
Voila. That's it. You got your publication. Congratulations. Voila. Any other questions before? Voila. That's what I want to show you. Is it possible? Yes, you can embed it, the little code into your website. That's no problem. So if you're interested, contact me, peterlausjci@gmail.com for maybe you want more or organize yourself a training, and then maybe we can dive into, for example, editing, publishing, more on the details. Today it was introduction. I'll show you the 5 steps of practice. And voila, that's what I wanted to do. That's to get away of the obstacles and get to do the action. I can't stay too long because my computer is going down. So if I'm out of this session, please connect with Mark or with myself, peterlovegci@gmail.com, and we will move on further. I hope you had a very interesting training session, and voila. And don't hesitate if you really have this wish to do podcast, to just start it. You've seen my steps, you've seen how I did it, what were the obstacles, and we can actually still going on. This is an introduction. I can make a more detailed version if you want. So no problem. Let's make JCI visible. And I think because you're here in this session, you have also the same wish. So let's unite the forces.
Thank you so much, Peter. So before your battery dies, quickly, for those that are here and able to put their cameras on, please do so. And we'll do a group photo. He says, if I can do it, I think I'm going to have to do it on the good old fashioned camera. So smile, everyone, in if you want to be on in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you. I'm sure I'll have the reflection of my hands in the screen, but anyway, it's all good. So thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you, Peter. That was really interesting. I'm hoping that the recording will save my end, but if not, hopefully you can save at your end too before your battery dies. And please let us know if you do want a part 2. And I think I put in earlier JCI Sheffield's link tree with all our contact details on, or we'll post some pictures later on Facebook and stuff. So please comment in the chat. Thank you very much. We really appreciate